Hey everyone, Loken, Rose, and I are back to talk about the latest chapter of My Hero Academia. Join the discussion by leaving a comment and let us know what your take would be. Spoiler warning, this video will cover chapter 318 of My Hero Academia. If you enjoy these videos, please help support the channel by leaving a like and subscribing to Texas Smash. Hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications so that you can be sure to catch us every time a new chapter is released. Join us every Friday on the Texas Smash Discord server. Find the link in the description below and you too can become one of the audience. Let's nerd out together. "318 leads off with Endeavor telling Deku that it's okay to rest now as they have confirmation that help from overseas heroes will arrive. Deku tells Endeavor not to worry because he can still move. We then see vestiges 4 through 8 attempting to convince Deku to rest as well. Deku ignores their warning and dashes forward. The second vestige, however, comments that he believes Deku is doing the right thing. He goes on to say that perhaps there is something we can do to protect Izuku Midoriya. We shift back to Deku, and after defeating some small-time villains, Deku actually frightens the people he was protecting. They feared Deku because they saw multiple quirks being used and thought he was a servant of All for One. Deku jumps off as Danger Sense directs him towards yet another villain. On the way, Deku is stressing out about All for One's latest message to him, "You're next." Deku thinks about how he just wants to end this so that he can smile with his friends and family again. By the time Deku finishes thinking these thoughts, he had already beaten the villain I mentioned earlier. The one after the shopping mall scene to start the chapter. Well, now Deku has found yet another villain at the end of his internal monologue. He has a sloppy landing from his sheer exhaustion and arrives at Kamino, the very place All Might fought All for One. The villain in front of him is another one of the hired guns from Tartarus that All for One has sent after Deku. His name is Dictator, and his quirk allows him to control people, but that power is negated if the people he's controlling receive a large shock or if the wielder is knocked out. Deku is now surrounded by innocent people that he does not want to hurt, probably the most tired he has ever been in his life, and accepts the blows of the people being controlled by Dictator as they pile onto him. The chapter reminds us about the earlier panel in which the second holder said, "If there's something we can do to protect Izuku Midoriya," followed by Bakugo arriving on the scene with an AP shot that knocks out Dictator and saying, "I found him, guys." What do we got to lead off with?
Overseas heroes. I wonder what heroes we'll get though. Because I know that it showed the silhouettes in one of the chapters. I forgot which one, and it showed the Pharaoh guy that we now know is in the third movie because we saw him in the trailer. And then there's the Elector Plant guy from the first movie, I think. I don't know about the rest though. Do you think Captain Celebrity is going to be a part of them, or I don't think so, but.
I'm really hoping he is.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see a different variety of heroes that aren't Japanese heroes. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the Japanese heroes. Just saying. It'd be nice to see another variation of a bunch of other different abilities and quirks to see.
He was the champion of My Hero Madness, so it would be nice to see him in the main series.
Yeah. Also, Deku not listening to Endeavor and just being like, "Yeah, I'm fine." It's like, no. Stop.
Yeah, Deku ain't listening to anybody right now.
Yeah. He just wants to get it all done so that he can smile with everyone again.
So what you think, Locan? You think it's Captain Celebrity or someone from the movies or someone new completely?
I think it definitely will be Captain Celebrity. That would just be a huge missed opportunity to me. And then I think it'll just be like some other rando heroes. But I think it's so cool. It's like, cool. It's confirmed that they officially are getting manpower from overseas. So I think when Principal Nezu was on the phone with All Might, I think that still was when they were putting in the request. Yeah. And that's what was getting pushed through. So I'd imagine at least in the next 2 chapters, like after the break and then 2 more chapters, roughly around that time, because by then Deku's going to be even closer to All for One than he's ever been, and they're going to need them as backup. So
before we get off international heroes, I did want to mention, because you brought up the Nezu scene,
Mhm.
Do we know, because Nezu mentioned that the issue was with the Public Safety Commission being in the state it was, they normally handle the process, right? So wishful thinking, maybe, but I always forget the police guy's name, All Might's friend.
Tsukauchi.
I always want to call him Sukuchi. It's Tsukuyuchi?
Tsukauchi. Yeah.
What is it? One more
Uh,
time?
Tsukauchi, I think.
Tsukauchi. Am I saying that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, that dude. We know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
His little sister is Captain Celebrity's agent, so if the normal process is to go through the Public Safety Commission and they're not functioning right now, that's kind of a way that they could have still got help from outside.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to see Captain Celebrity.
I think it said international, so I feel like it's probably a variety of across the world or something. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Not just America, but also Europe or Africa and different places. Brazil. Oh man, that would be so cool.
British heroes, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah.
Scotland.
Oh Jesus. They just come in wearing kilts.
Keep it going, okay?
I know, yeah. The Scottish have arrived. That would be so cool.
Okay, stop now. I'm just kidding.
Russians.
Irish.
Oh. The list goes on.
Looking forward to that, and then from there, just now we're back. We get to see the inside of the Vestige world again.
Yeah.
And I was curious as to this. It looks like a safe door, like a locked door or whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to what that's going to be.
It looks like the exact same door that was used to imprison Yoichi in All for One's base or whatever. So I feel like that's probably that room. I was thinking that maybe that's their meeting place because maybe that's where Yoichi died. So it's like, or like that's where it all started. So that's why they're sitting in that room. But I don't know. It looks like the exact same room layout, but just with chairs in it.
Right. That's a good call out. A couple panels before, though, look at how sinister Deku looks in that one where he says, "Don't worry, I can still move. We can't give the villains time to prepare." Deku looks probably the darkest he's ever looked. I would say that's even more of a dark image of him than the last panel of last chapter.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like a monster right there. Just wanted to point out that specific panel.
Yeah. Also, the panels below that, when it was like the vestiges telling Deku to like stop because his wounds aren't healed. Did you notice that when he activated danger sense and he like dashed away, that the smoke that was around his feet where he dashed, that you can see the silhouettes of the vestiges being blown away by it, and then you see Shinomori just looking back like, "Oh boy, what have we done?" I just found that quite interesting because I saw the silhouettes of the faces and I was like, that's a really nice touch that it shows that they were actually in the physical world type of thing.
I did not catch that on my first read through. Interesting.
Yeah. Thought I'd point it out. So I wonder if everyone else can see them too, or if it was just Deku that can see them. Because if everyone else can see them, then surely they can like talk or something. But I don't know.
I feel like that it's mainly just for artistic things. Like Deku probably can see them, but I don't know, or like he sees them, but they're not really there. But it would be cool if through the quirk, smokescreen and whatnot, that he is able to. They kind of come in. That'd be cool.
I bet the therapist is going to be busy after this whole moment with Deku. God.
Yeah, I don't think that scene is literal. It's like you said, Rose. It's a nice artistic touch, but I don't think they're actually physically in the real world having a conversation. I think it's symbolic for what's happening right now. Deku's leaving them behind. That's how they feel. Like just a few panels later, who's the one that says it? We're just a means to an end. Who says that? Oh,
that's Shinomori.
fourth user, right?
Yeah. Because he says, for better or for worse, awakening our quirks is just a means to an end to him. I like how we got a full shot of what the second user looks like. And yeah, I don't, going with the maybe his Bakugo theory, I don't think he is Bakugo because his hair is shaded to make it look like it's a darker colour. And then Bakugo's is like shaded white. So I don't know, that's just my theory. I don't want it to be Bakugo because I'm not on board with that, but oh well.
Right.
I feel like it's someone who's either got a heat quirk or just someone who's related-ish to Bakugo.
Well, we'll definitely come back to that later on because we'll you already know where I'm going with that.
But it is interesting too how he still is refusing to sit down in the vestige world, but he's gotten closer, and then I don't know, just the way he is, it seems like he's he's accepted Deku, cares about him, and you know, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, then he says there's something that we could do to protect Izuku Midoriya. I wonder,
What is that?
Whoa. Cool.
Yeah.
And notice how users 1 and 3 seem to be knowing exactly what he's talking about. I don't know, that's how, because that's the last two people you see.
Yeah.
And to me, I take their expression as like, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. And them 3 people have known each other for the longest because them 2 are the ones that rescued him.
Yeah.
So.
And then he's also, just it's gonna be cool.
Makes me wonder how the second and third user got the quirks passed on. So I'm pretty sure that Yuichi gave it to the second user. Maybe the second user got in a fight and then handed the quirk off to the third user and told him to run off and make sure he lives so he can pass it on to someone else. So, and then that was the cycle that it went in.
I feel like we definitely need, and hopefully we'll get, once we get the identity of the second user, I really hope that Horikoshi will have like a flashback and give us the whole story, and all the details as to, even them meeting the first user and then getting the quirk to the second and third. I really hope we get all of that.
We still don't have the third user's name. It's just there oh, okay. And we don't have the last name of the smokescreen guy as well. Oh well.
Venus. Just kidding. Anything else on Vestige? I think we'll come back to this conversation, honestly, towards the end.
Yeah, for sure.
But want to jump on to Deku's rampage?
Yeah. The civilians thinking that Deku is all for one subordinate, and he's just like, no, I'm not, it's fine. And then they just run after okay, yeah, that's fine, we're fine, don't follow us. Okay.
Right. I thought that just goes to show, though, just like what you were saying a little bit ago, Kronos, how dark Deku looks.
I think I mentioned about this before joining this call, that with Deku, I feel like the reason that he's got Black Whip is out is probably because he's too tired to keep the power contained, so it's all leaking out. Or maybe he's keeping Black Whip out so he can instantly use it, or something. But yeah, because interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even the panel where they're running away, you still see Black Whip out right there.
Yeah.
So I was thinking last week that was just we talked about it actually last week that we didn't think Deku was actually walking down the street with Black Whip hanging out. We thought it was more of a metaphor,
but no, it was actually.
I mean, looking at these, Deku, the fight's over, the civilians are running away, and you can see the strands of Black Whip still out on the sides of him.
Yeah.
To me, I just feel like it's more that he just has control over all the quirks, so he doesn't really need them in, he's just going. He's going. He wants to be prepared. He's ready. So he's in full go mode, and that's why it's out, just so that if he does need it, it's there. and he just has really good control over it now. So
Yeah.
but it does make him look dark, which I don't know. I like it. I like this version of Deku. Like I said last week, it reminds me of like just a Dark Knight type feel, and him being brutal and just ready to do whatever he's got to do.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, this must be exactly how All Might was whenever Night Eye was talking to him, you know, in the past. Like, we only see the scene where All Might kind of just ignores Night Eye and walks out.
Yeah.
But this must have been pretty comparable to what All Might was doing back then.
Yeah. Also, the panel below that where it's showing Deku like asking, like talking internally about what All for One's planning and where is he, and then on the panel that shows the League of Villains, it's got Darby, Toga, and Spinner, and Toga's got her like quirk transformation liquid forming on her, and then Darby's got his white hair. So that got me thinking: is Toga back with the League of Villains, or I don't know? 'Cause it just shows Darby smiling, and it's like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
I like how Deku keeps referencing to the "You're Next" part, because I feel like that's really getting to him. So it's probably making him feel a bit on edge, or well, not a bit on edge, but like, you know, panicked. And way too eager to save everyone instead of making them worry. But,
yeah, he feels pushed. I mean, them two obviously big names, All Might and All for One. But even, you know, did we already pass this panel where Nana was saying, did my words? Yeah, we passed this. My feelings affected him too heavily. Like, she's feeling guilty with the whole.
Yeah.
You know, whenever she was asking him questions, and she feels like Deku's being pushed from all different directions. It's and then he's that type of guy anyway, to where he would have pushed himself.
Yeah.
And this is just extra on top of that. So
I just see like that is what's in the forefront of his mind, and that is what's his motivation and what's pushing him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if All for One pointed at me, you're next. That's all I would think about, and really, I would just be angry. Like, I'm next? No, you're next. All for One, like, I'm coming for you, and that's what he keeps on. You know, he's just like, where are you? What are you doing? What are you planning? Like, I think that's what he's gonna show up and be like, you're next. Here I am. Like,
yeah.
You're done, All for One. So I can't wait. I'm like, cool.
Also, Deku eating a calorie bar. What was so wrong with that bento box, eh? Oh God.
Terrible. And I like Rose, I'm glad you pointed it out with the panel with Dobby and Toga, because that's been something we've talked about too, is like, where is she? What is she doing? So I wonder if it's either Deku just thinking about them, or if they are all together.
Yeah.
Right. We haven't seen Toga, and dang, how long has that been? It's been a lot of chapters.
It has. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So Deku beats a villain, then beats a villain, then goes to fight Dictator.
Yeah. And the panels of when he's thinking about his Gran Torino, All Might, Aizawa, Eri, and then the civilians that he's protecting. Also, the panel when Deku said, "So I can smile with all of them again," and it's just they're all in the background smiling, and it's just Deku's the only one in that panel that's like looking all angry and revengeful or whatever. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, but going back to what I was saying, these are all push, right? I mean,
also, I wouldn't call Tokoyami smiling. It looks more like he's worried about something.
Right? Like, that's the best smile he can come up with.
Smile
like,
for the camera, Tokoyami.
Too funny. It's kind of it's sad, but this is why I really feel like Deku isn't going bad. It's just, yeah, he looks like this. He looks dark,
Yeah.
but he still has all of his friends, his mom. All these panels are showing that, he still has the love for them in his heart, and he just wants to protect them.
Yeah.
And so that, to me, is what's keeping him grounded. And I think people might feel like, even the vestiges feel like he's pushing himself too far and he's going to break. But with all of this, within his heart, he's not. I believe Deku is strong enough to be able to go to the edge and not break.
Mhm.
I mean, when you have that many people supporting you and having your back, it's incredible what people are able to do. I think for me, that's what I see and what it's showing.
I'm with you. I don't think he's going dark. I don't think he ever will, unless it's by force. But what I think is happening here with these last few chapters, with the chapter titles, with the way Deku looks, I harp on it all the time. One of the themes that Horikoshi, one of the major themes, is how judgmental people are. I beat this line to death. Gang Orca's the hero that looks most like a villain. Everyone telling Shinso he should have been a villain. You notice most of the mutant type people end up being villains because they were outcasted. People judge people, and society's judging Deku. We see that this chapter, and even some of the fans, in a way, like a lot of people are kind of already saying like this is a sure thing. Deku is going dark, and so are we judging him as well? I just feel like Koshi really likes to touch on that aspect, and I think that's what's going on here. But I don't think he's losing himself, and I don't think it'll happen.
Agreed. Well said. I think and you're right. A lot of people have even been jumping to that conclusion to me, and I get it. I don't think they're totally off base, but at the end of the day, I mean, Deku's character development hasn't been for nothing. So I think that it would be all thrown away if he does just go totally berserk, to me. But I also, it even said like recklessness born out of impatience. So I think that is also a sign that, with him being so reckless, he could make mistakes. I think he might make a mistake and something's going to go wrong, but I don't think he's going to go
I've also just noticed with that panel as well, when it's like Deku, and he's got the not a question mark, exclamation mark in the speech bubble, and as he lands on the floor, you can tell he's tired because he doesn't land normally, he literally falls on the floor. Because on the next panel where he's looking at Dictator, he's like sitting on the floor with like Black Whip laying on the floor. And then, and then it shows him getting up, and then,
Yeah, All for One's playing him.
Yeah, I feel like he's just desperate to find All for One at this point so he can just get it over and done with.
Right.
But he's working himself too hard. Like, he's going to end up breaking himself. It's so sad.
Which is exactly why he pointed at him and said, "You're next." He knew this would happen. That's why, like Dictator even said, All for One told me you'd come here tired, on the brink of exhaustion.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly what he predicted. Like, wow. Like, I mean, it's just so, the wording to me, it's really weird. Like, I've said it before, I really think All for One does have someone who does have a prediction type quirk. So,
also, I don't get what he said when he was like, numbers are justice. If I just bring you to him, I will be safe. And it's like, he'll be safe? What?
He probably knows that All for One gave him something. Like, they probably know Nagant got blown up. So anyone who fails All for One is probably there. I mean, they're definitely at risk to be killed. So,
oh boy.
I don't know what numbers are justice is, though. He seems a little cuckoo to me. So I was like, huh, weirdo.
Hopefully, the official translation might clear it up a bit.
Right, numbers are justice does not. I guess he's referencing his quirk there. Maybe, I don't know.
that would make sense. I like that.
I feel like he has to be tethered to the people because it looks like he's got things coming
Strings.
from there.
Mm-hmm. He's a puppet master.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Have either of you read Berserk? The first villain that popped in my mind was there's a bad guy in there called Bishop Mosgus, and they look similar-ish, but the demeanor. I think they look similar, but it's also the way they act. They're the guy in Berserk. He's a little bonkers, like this guy seems to be. So
Mm-hmm.
I say a little bonkers. He's freaking crazy. But anyway, nobody's seen that, so y'all don't know what I'm talking about. So why am I talking about it? Let's see. All right, continuing on.
Cool how we get a little backstory of who captured Dictator, when that happened, and then all the people attacking him. Deku is just he's out, and then he's getting taken over, and who comes and saves the day? What's up, Bakugo? Like,
but real quick before that though, just a couple panels. How long has it been since we've seen Deku without his mask on? I was wondering, because look at those eyes, man. I mean, we all knew he was tired, but look at that little skinny panel in the middle.
right.
Like, dang, how long has it been since we've actually seen Deku's eyes?
Do you think that in the anime that they'll put loads of animation into that one eye? Just to emphasize the tiredness.
I feel like we'll get like a zoom in, it'll slowly go into Deku and his eyes just like
it just fades to black and then Bakugo is just there like, what are you doing?
Ooh, nice. I like that.
Like when he was passing out against Muscular and then Coda came in. Except this time it's not a splash of water, it's an AP shot. Go ahead, Riz.
It's just so sad when Bakugo's like, I know, it's okay, I will free you, so don't worry, I will think of a solution. And then he just like goes further down into despair and it's like, and you just see his hand reaching out and all these people clambering on top of him and it's like, Jesus Christ. Poor guy. And then Bakugo comes in to save the day. I bet everyone's going to be so happy because Bakugo's back this chapter after like 100 days or whatever it was.
It's about time.
People also point
out with the headshot.
People also point out that the second user looked when Bakugo appeared, and then it's went to a flashback of him saying, "If there is something that we could do to protect Izuku Midoriya," and then it just shows Bakugo, and I'm like, okay.
Okay, so are we gonna jump in it? Because I know you don't like it, Rose, and I know no one else does. But
let's actually.
Y'all are gonna drive me insane with this. Like, I understand, like the second user's hair is darker, but people get older. Their hair changes color over time.
I don't think he's that old. God Christ, he looks young.
I mean, my hair used to be a lot. I mean, honestly, not making this up. My hair used to be pretty blonde when I was young, and my hair's pretty brown now. So I don't think I'm that old.
Right.
But hair color, I mean, yeah, Loken, it's a fair point. I mean, to say it could have just been an older version of him, darker hair. It happens. It happened to me.
Like, it is Bakugo, but it's someone related or someone who knows Bakugo or something. I don't know.
It's just so jumping back to earlier, and I didn't want to dive into it then because I wanted to get to the end, but earlier when they were in the vestige world, he was even saying the path he's taken is the correct one.
Yeah.
To me, that was not him agreeing with what Deku's doing. It's he knows that, okay, this is right. Like, this is what needs to be done. And what other way can he know that? And then on top of that, you get Bakugo coming in to save the day. And out of all the users, they show him. Like, that just too much of a coincidence to me, I think.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird.
The movies are canon, right? So Bakugo, even though One for All rejected him, he had it for a second, right? Maybe, is there a way that they can Like, because Bakugo had it for a second, even though he wasn't, but he wasn't a holder. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just wondering if, is there any way they could have reached out to him, or is it what Loken was saying and the second holder just knew that was the right path because...
I don't know if they're talking about like completing one for all because they need Bakugo to complete it because he's like literally an extra person that was initially put in there at a moment's notice or something. I don't know.
Is something we could do to protect Izuku Midoriya? How does the Vestiges reach out to Bakugo?
I don't know. Unless the Vestiges just like have an inkling that Bakugo was his childhood friend, so he'll obviously show up to help him, like, or something. Unless they predicted that. Unless the second user's quirk is like insane prediction skills, or I don't know. Oh god. Just like Deku and All For One fighting on like an intelligence basis. Just they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna do this. No, you're gonna do that. It's like, oh, am I? Oh god. Oh well.
And going along with him saying that again, if there's something that we could do to protect Izuku Midoriya, at first I was thinking we as in the Vestiges, but what if by we he means himself and Bakugo? Hey, I'm going for any stretch or any type of evidence. Because I want the time theory, and I know that, and I'm adamant about it. But
I just don't
that's
like the
pretty
idea
cool.
of time travel. But I mean, if there's a reasonable explanation to the time travel theory or whatever, like in the actual story itself, then that's fine. I just don't see it working at the moment. But then again, I'm not really an expert, so I can't really say much. Oh,
we could do, and then boom, and then Bakugo is the we. I don't know. I might be reading into it, but pretty crazy.
It's worth calling out for sure.
Like why have that reiterated?
Just trying to slowly pull me into that guideline of it is Bakugo. Oh boy. Have you seen the thing that people have been saying on Twitter saying that Bakugo is Toga because he has slits in his eyes, and it's like, just no, that's just how Bakugo's eyes have always been, right? Like little tiny little dots with a little line in it. God.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in that one. I haven't seen anything that actually gives merit.
And I doubt Toga, and people were there like, even if it was Toga, I doubt she'd be able to pull off an actual AP shot.
She has to like love the person and know really. She doesn't admire Bakugo, does she?
Yeah.
I mean, I have seen the theory.
Saying, but she can't use the quirks of people she doesn't like. So, can you imagine if like Toga got some of Twice's blood or something, and then just transforms into Twice and just uses his quirk? Like Jesus Christ, just for the rest of his life.
I could see that is actually something I would give every bit of a 50% chance, if not higher. Yeah. I think that could really happen. Get Twice's quirk one last time. Yeah. I touched on it. This will be my very last thing. But before we got off on the last page on the second holder talk, I was mentioning how the parallel of Deku being buried to the muscular fight, and even with Bakugo saving him, just like Koda sort of saved him, in both instances he's being covered and piled on. In both instances, Deku's like really on the brink of giving up. So last time when this happened, Deku ended up, one shot and muscular. I mean, this could be with Bakugo coming and doing this, Bakugo of all people. This could give Deku a huge morale boost and maybe snap him out of it just in this itself,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal. Think about, why did they pick Kirishima to grab Bakugo? Because he was the one that would have impacted him the most in that moment.
Yep.
Bakugo is the one that would impact Deku the most. So, what were we saying, Loken?
No, I was just agreeing with you. Like how Kirishima, they knew that Bakugo would reach his hand out to him at that time. Like he was the only one. So
So
Yeah.
whose words would ring the loudest and like reach Deku the most?
Bakugo.
Yep.
Out of a yep.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean maybe this is all it takes. Maybe Deku kind of snaps out of it after this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
And Bakugo,
Smiley
we
Deku
also
back.
he hasn't been on, we haven't seen him, so he's also been training too, and that's what I forget. I think a lot of people, it's like time's gone on, and as we're not seeing these people, they're doing other stuff. It's not like everything pauses just because they're not there. So imagine how much training he's been in and he's been doing. So he's got to be strong enough too, and I think hopefully Bakugo will tell Deku like, "Hey, I'm here to stay. I'm by your side. You're
Yeah.
not doing this alone." And now he'll have someone to help him shoulder all this, responsibility.
Yeah.
Perfect timing for him to show up, and I think he'll be a huge help. So I'm glad that we finally have Bakugo again.
Yeah. I feel like the next chapter will probably just be like the aftermath of Bakugo being there. And then they just have a talk for the rest of the chapter, just being like, "You're so stupid. Stop doing it. Stop beating yourself up.
Exactly.
Stop being such a wimp." Come on. Oh god.
In true
Yeah, he already did it.
Bakugo
Bastard.
fashion.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like he doesn't want anyone to worry about him, but him being away is making people worry anyway. So it's like, come on.
Can't do it alone. You're gonna need help. And
Yeah.
Bakugo's
lesson.
just like, you're
You
too
need your
weak. You couldn't
friends."
do this by yourself anyways. You need me.
Thing is, it's so weird because the Bakugo that we saw in this chapter, it's like he didn't look angry. He just looked really calm, and it was like, wow, this is a different side of Bakugo. Then again, he has improved a lot since the start of the series, like
That's what-
development-wise.
If you cut all the thing out except for just the image of Bakugo there, and if you scroll down like the person that colored it, like the first quote that comes to mind when I look at that picture is, "You look like you need saving."
Yeah.
So, role reversal.
Everything comes full circle. I'm excited for next week.
Yeah.
Well, there's no chapter next week.
Oh, yeah. Well, sorry. I'm excited for the next chapter.
Yeah, but I'm glad you said that because I did want to mention that it is on break next week. So we good? No questions, Locan?
Nope, nothing.
Oof.
All right, let's see.
Okay.
Let me think of something here to close with. We're gonna make up our own question. Let me think. If Toga is transformed right now, let's say she's not with just hypothetically, let's say she's not with the League of Villains, she's still off on her own, and she's sneaking around. Who do you think, if you had to pick somebody, who do you think she would be disguised as, most likely?
No, probably Deku or Araka, most likely.
Deku, or those are, yeah. The only thing with Deku, though, is everybody knows Deku's off fighting, so I feel like she would have a hard time pretending to be Deku right now.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool and pretty twisted if she shows up as Izuku's mom.
Ooh.
Like, they kidnap her from the school and replace her with Toga. And I'm sure Toga would get her rocks off on that too.
Oh, because
Give
Deku
him
would
a
run up
hug.
and hug her? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
She'd
And
be
then
like,
that's when she...
yay.
That would be... I like stuff like that, so I'm like, yeah, all right.
Like, twisted and messed up, and he doesn't know the whole time. And then she also gets him to confide in her and tell her all his plans. Like, I think that would be the most like impactful way to mess Deku up.
So just to be different, I think I do like that one, Locan. Ochiko's a good bet. Deku, I don't know. That one would be tough. I obviously don't believe in the Bakugo theory. I'm going to go with, if I had to pick somebody, maybe Froppy. She does like Froppy a lot, and we haven't really seen her use Froppy yet, you know?
Mhm.
Doesn't she have some Froppy blood, or no? Am I making that up?
Well, she cut her tongue and took some blood from her tongue at the training arc thing in the forest, I think.
Yeah, like way back when.
Yeah. I mean, she could have stored it up in like a little tiny vial.
Definitely. Oh yeah, for sure.
Just has a whole storeroom of blood. Just, God. Oh,
And
boy.
to look inside, if Toga had a room to go in there and see it, just like, oh god.
Oh,
Creepy.
Vampire.
Right.
All right. I just wanted to throw something random at the end of the chapter since we didn't have any questions.
Yeah.
So
That was cool. That was a good. I like that. I like that. Plus, I liked my answer, so
yeah, that is cool. I like twisted stuff like that you don't see coming. So,
Yeah.
well, most people don't see coming, but you get the expert Texas Smash crew on it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.